I'm multitasking today. I have the baseball. I'm at my son's baseball game, and I'm like, we're here, we're doing it. Like we all gotta just like keep going. So I'm so
So you understand.
We get it.
listen. Yes.
All right, we got the Millionaire Podcast. Charles Oglesby, also known as Todd Millionaire. We're here with Michelle Welch. How's it going, Michelle? Long time no see.
Yes, it's good. It's a great, beautiful day. And what a way to kick off our second season of the podcast, but with two beautiful Black business owners that have some amazing food. So listen, we're here. We're here for a good time, not a long time. So let's get started.
Yeah, so we're here with
So
the owners
go ahead.
of Q's Crackin Crab and Soul Food Kitchen in Cocoa Beach, Florida. They came highly regarded. They actually came referred from Houston Vintage Homes, and he's all the way in Houston, so if he knows about you guys, that's saying something. So shout out to him real quick, and welcome to the show, guys.
Thank you. Thank you for having us.
So can you tell us a little bit more about who you are and where you're from?
So I'm Q and this is Anthony. We have a seafood restaurant in Cocoa Beach. We're one of the only Black owned restaurants in Cocoa Beach. We opened up about 3 years ago. We opened up in the middle of the pandemic. I know a lot of people know that the pandemic opened up. I started with March 13th officially. That's when we signed our lease.
Like literally.
That's crazy.
Oh, wow.
You weren't expecting it. It just kind of like.
No.
And then they started, with cutting down, capacity on seating down to 50%. And, it was a few months before we opened, but we took the time to really just get ourselves together and kind of figure out our game plan
Because
as to how it was going to look for us. Because it wasn't no turning back for us. We put everything and we went all in. So
yeah, because we negotiated our lease for 4 months free, we didn't have to rush. So we decided to kind of like watch everything and kind of see how it went. And we decorated the place, and we decided to open up 4th of July weekend instead of March. We still have 1 month left of free.
Yeah. So it was go time.
Yeah. But yeah, so
Okay,
since then, go ahead.
No, so just because during that time frame, did you guys have any reservations? Like I know you guys had a game plan when you initially went into it, but with COVID coming out of nowhere, you signing your lease the day that Governor DeSantis had put the thing into effect. What were your guys' thoughts? Like, what were you even thinking?
I literally asked him. I was like, "Are you sure we did this?"
there was a lot of concerns, a lot of eyebrows that could be raised. But for us, at the end of the day, when we looked at it, we said, it's one thing to say if we were trying to open like a sneaker store or something like that, but it's food. It's almost a necessity.
And we faith. I believe that our biggest thing is like at the end of the day, we can depend on ourselves, and we can like solid faith that whatever it's game time, where the money's already spent, so we're just gonna make it happen.
And then it's not like we were starting from scratch.
Yeah.
My wife had a restaurant at back in 2017 that was on a smaller scale back in Satellite. So she built her following up. That's when I met her, and we actually moved on from there, where we started doing catering from here all the way to Orlando. So we were building up a following. So
I started cooking from my house in 2016 as a hobby. My background is pharmacy. I just kind of was like in between jobs, and I was like having game nights at the house, and having people bring seafood and stuff. And so I realized that's like, oh, I think they like it. Nobody's complaining. So I end up was like doing like a little rent party, And so I sold my first platters just to get some extra money in between jobs. And I made a lot of money. And I was like, hold up, I can make money doing this? And the light bulb hit. And I was doing that until I got a job in a pharmacy at the hospital, and everybody was like, Q, why are you doing this? Like, you need to go back to food. And I just decided in 2016 to just take a leap of faith and do it myself. And that's how I got the first location, and that's when I met my husband.
Yeah, because I had moved back from like Fort Lauderdale area I had my own little insurance company, but I'm like, all right, well, we're coming back home. And I'm on like Facebook every day, and every day there's like messages, notifications about this place, about this crab place. And I'm like, so it actually caught my interest because I'm a business guy. I'm like, first of all, well, she's on her game because there's never a day that goes by that I don't see some type of advertisement about this place. So let me go check it out. You know,
guerrilla marketing. I was heavy on social media.
That caught me. I'm like, all right, she about her business. I like that. So I got to go see more. And
how does that merge together with you guys working together on the same business? What does that look like for you?
So my husband does all the cooking and ordering, the inventory and stuff like that. And then I kind of run the outside in the business part. I do with the ordering and inventory, hiring, community.
She's our marketing guru extraordinaire. Like I said, that's how I met her, because of her marketing. And, in her strengths in that, like when she met me, she didn't know I can cook. I've cooked for a long time, but never not like serious, but everything kind of, it falls in place. It's not that hard to cook for me. So.
The biggest thing, like people think that as a couple that it is going to be kind of hard to work together. What we found out is that if we both can't focus on the same thing. Once we split it up and we're like, okay, this is what you do, this is what I do. That's
why I run the back of the house. She runs the front of the house.
Yeah. And I tried to work in the kitchen with him, and
I tell her just go on, baby. It's okay. It's okay. Because the system in the back is different from the system in the front. The way that she handles the customers, the way that she deals with the front end of the house, it's gonna be different from how I would. But being that she's the original face and the brand of the company, we want everybody to model in that realm.
And customers like to come and see me, take pictures and talk and stuff like that. So
that's really cool.
So I don't mind doing a front. Our daughter is our manager now. We have about 10 staff members. My brother-in-law works
for the kitchen manager, so
it's amazing.
It's a family business that we're trying to cultivate and grow and and expand within ourselves. It's when we came together, he asked, what does it look like for us? Well, one, we came together and really put together a plan just to have a unified mindset on what it is that we're looking to accomplish within our family. We had a blended family. I had 3 girls, she had 2 girls, and now we have 2 together. So we're 7 all together.
So cute.
So, we had to just put together a mindset and really, I really looked at her one day and said, listen, I'm doing this, you're doing that over there. I'm like, at any given point in time, you just let me know, because I'm telling you what you have there and what we're able to cultivate. If we both join in together, we will be unstoppable. So
and then the main thing is Anthony's background is like finance. He was a financial advisor, and so and he did insurances. So like he has that knowledge of business too.
Got a little bag.
And then my background, and I'm a true Capricorn always. Entrepreneur spirit. My parents and my mom was an entrepreneur, my dad too. So I kind of had the bug, but just lacked the confidence. That's why my background was pharmacy. But once I realized I can do this, I kind of just switched over.
She's been doing this for years.
Yeah, I've sold everything.
She can, but it's not just the sales. What I really love about her is the people personality that she has. We all at some point in time don't really like to deal with people at times. We get on our, but when it's game time, you're going to get the same experience from her every time. I used to be a private banker. I used to be an advisor. I dealt with face-to-face, customer service for a long time. So I know good service when I see it, and she has that. So that makes it easier to come across to everybody in that loving feeling. That's why they want to take pictures. That's why they want to come, because she puts it out there on social media and lets you feel like you're a part of what we're doing, because essentially you guys are, that support from you all is what helps us to continue to grow, to continue to expand, get more ideas as to what it is that we can give y'all that, really gonna have you coming back. So
And so our next step and what that looks like is franchising. We've already got
Yes.
So-
You need a location in
Okay.
California?
We
Got you.
working on it. Listen, we've had requests from Cali to Utah to Nevada to
Your food
Kentucky
is
to North
amazing.
Carolina to Texas, as you already know. Like anytime they come on vacation and they come, because we're right near Cape Canaveral, which has the cruise port, which is the largest cruise port in the United States.
Yeah, we're like
Mhm.
8 minutes away.
Yeah, so there's a lot of tourists that come through the Orlando area and then come over to this side because they're going on a cruise and they get to experience Q's
Mhm.
because of that, and then they want to go back
Yes,
to
that is
friends.
so.
Okay.
you-
And I feel like it's become like a tourist trap at this point.
Yes.
I can say that I feel like it's bigger than me at this point. Like they know me, but
That's
most of the
dope.
time they don't even know who I am.
That's how
you know?
it's supposed to be.
Yeah, exactly. You
And
know.
so, and that's how we know we're moving on to the next level because
Yes.
the brand based on around that service and that, love and incubator, but be able to have a team that can, be able to reciprocate that every time, no matter where the location is, because we ain't gonna be in every location.
And you can't
know.
duplicate an experience like that either, really, too.
Yes. And I just have to point out one big thing, and me and Charles, we talk about this and on Twitter and things like that. The relationship, the fact that you guys are on the same page, the fact that you have involved your family. I think I don't only speak for myself when I say on a Black wealth, looking at a beautiful Black couple, grow their business together and involve their family and seeing it run so adequately and just your guys' energy and the way you mix and mingle. It's so like, and I can see, girl, I can see why everyone wants to take pictures with you. Your vibe just through the computer, we can feel it. We can feel the love and the compassion. And I think that's a big thing that's missing from business.
Yeah.
You literally turned a passion into profits and you did it with your family. And I think that is such an underrated blessing. I'm a second generation entrepreneur as well. So you guys remind me so much of my parents and the way that they were able to really get into business together. And that's something, I'm going to be 31. That's something that I look for in my partner because I am a full-time entrepreneur and business owner as well. So you guys that are watching, you see it's possible. Like it is possible. Okay.
But I want to say,
Go ahead.
Q, what advice do you have for Michelle? Because she's a boss and she's trying to find her husband.
Listen, so Michelle, like that was the biggest thing, especially like after I was married before and became a single mom of 2 girls. And my biggest thing leaving that situation was having my own, and it was intimidating for other guys to come and see me with the restaurant at that time, a smaller version, but a restaurant doing my own thing. And I just say, continue to focus on building yourself at the best you can, because then you can meet somebody on that same vibration. You don't want to meet anybody that's less than what you're putting out for yourself.
I like it.
That's 100%. And Charles, you are so funny.
I put you on the spot.
And I
Michelle.
love.
I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. It's okay. I do want a husband. Obviously, that's the ultimate goal. But
But again, and it's understanding with the relationship, just as in business, it's about having that hard conversation. The reason that you see us here smiling and laughing here, there's a lot of hard conversations behind closed doors. There's a, I tell my wife all the time in business, baby, when I'm talking to you, it's business. It's not personal. It's not about feelings. It's about the bottom line. It's about red or black.
I love
it's about
that.
us or them. So that we talking that, but she know I'm gonna love her when we get home. She know I'm gonna kiss her. I'm gonna take care of her.
Uncomfortable conversations and stuff like that. I do say that you gotta have that thick skin when working with a spouse.
But yeah, and I will say this for to add on to what she said in regards to his question to you is, when you do find that person, you have to understand, and I used to say this to understand, you're not in it by yourself anymore.
Yeah.
Because sometimes you spend so much time saying, I'm gonna be a boss, I'm a boss up, I'm a boss up. And then you meet the other boss and you don't want to go like you're still going alone. The whole reason of doing that is to find somebody that's equally yoked. So understand how to mesh that yoke, and then everybody is elevated from there. Because you go from that to royalty status. Because
once you'll know when you meet someone that is perfect for you to give up that, because it's not easy as a boss, as a strong woman to say, hey,
And
I'm
I'm
gonna
a
be
single mom of 2 boys, so
okay.
I'm in
So
that same
right,
scenario. Yeah, so
but
it for
because
me,
being
I'm like,
vulnerable,
"Ugh."
I it's not
Mhm.
easy. I understand. So
Well,
like,
like she said, it's all in about who you are. We are always going to attract who we are,
Mm.
not who we perceive to be, not who
yeah,
we want to be in the future, but who we are now.
hmm
So if who we are now is not truly who we see ourselves as, then holding off on certain things would be the best thing for us until we get ourselves there. That way, it eliminates a
Anthony just
lot of
took me to church, y'all. Anthony took me to church. He took me to church, and that
you
is
know.
100%, 100% because I lost my grandmother in August of last year, and it put me in like a really weird funk. And so I'm coming out of it now, like
Mhm.
now, and I think it's really dope to be able to see what I want. And when I mean like, with your guys' business, that's something I see it can happen. It's possible. And hearing, sometimes you gotta let the lion die down a little bit. And
yeah,
because I have such a big personality, and I'm always like, I've been doing this. I'm a boss. I got this. And even Charles, like, he knows. But I'm so soft hearted, and I want to have somebody to love and all of
same
those things.
way.
But it's just I know when the time will come. But we gonna ask every single couple when they come on here, what is the advice for Michelle? Because when
No,
I tell you that I attract everybody because I have so much light, and so I have
yeah.
to have better discernment. So I pray for that, and I do like practice, and so y'all are
Listen,
right
for
with me. I
me, like I
appreciate
had
it.
to learn that I'm a big people pleaser, and like I had to pull that back a lot. These 3 years of being an entrepreneur, like I can only give myself so much to so many people without draining myself. So you have
Mhm.
to also like have these authority. So
Boundaries.
yeah,
So you got to have
definitely.
a
You can't.
level of effort.
So
There's a level of effort that
boundaries
you got to have.
goes into what I actually do. So I'm a productivity specialist. And so
Mhm.
what is a productive day? What does that mean to you guys? How do you guys keep your time management aligned, your productivity aligned to make sure you're getting to those goals?
I mean, from the very beginning, like we treat our business like a really, a strict business. We get up, make sure that our employees are coming to work on time. We make sure that our vendor trucks are coming in so that we can have food to give out to our customers. We have a schedule of when we do ordering. Um, it's a lot. So
Yeah, I mean, it starts again. It never turns off because there's
even on my
always
days
something going
off,
on. But like, I tell you, a typical day for me is waking up at 4, going to the gym at 5,
mhm,
just trying to
Yeah.
get myself together for all of that that's going on in the day because we got kids. Before we're business owners, we're parents,
yeah,
and they're demanding, a 10-month-old and a 4-year-old, and then
mhm,
Whew.
two teenagers that are still here.
yeah.
So we got school. So if I don't get myself going early and get myself together, then that snowball effect in regards to your energy, how you handle those things that are coming throughout the day is going to be different. You
So
know,
between the two of us, he helps with driving the kids to school and getting the kids ready, and
she
then I
takes care of
take care of
baby.
another one. But
Mm-mm.
it's just so many of them.
I give her the baby because I'd rather take the two big ones.
small, small kids are a lot.
And then it's banking, and then it's looking at payroll, and then it's again, like she said, looking at staffing, and then looking at, okay, what's the where are we at today, what's our busiest time of the day, how
Yeah.
did we do this time last week as opposed to this
For
week, do we
instance,
need to
we
make
have
adjustments?
May 3rd, we have a BBW group that's coming in, it's having a conference. So like I had to call the promoter today. It was like, okay, we have a DJ coming in for karaoke that night so we could bring entertainment to the restaurant. Mind you guys, our spot is
Only
only
holds 50
50,
seats.
50 seats. I think that the brand, this tells you about our marketing. Our brand makes our restaurant look way bigger than what it
Mhm.
is.
Mhm.
And so we get large parties, 30, 40, 50
They're
people.
calling, they're like, yeah, we're here, we want to be there, do we have time to, and we just tell them, hey, we'll get you guys fitted, just come on out,
And we've
we'll
been
get you
able
fed.
to,
We've been able to take care of the large parties
and we
in
don't
that
have
small setting.
alcohol at our spot either. It's just food sales, which is incredible to be able to go
Yeah.
and have the kind of sales that we have.
Coming up on 3 years and, you know, still be growing, still have the opportunity to expand, still have the opportunity to add, you know, beer and wine or alcohol and add that next layer and level to it. You know, it all comes in time. You know, we could have did it before, but for some reason, you know, things kind of get in the way, and you know, you kind of learn within business if they get in the way, maybe it's for a reason. You know, being able to scale up and being able to get our, you know, our standard operating procedures in place, making sure that we're setting ourselves up right, you know, making sure that everything that we do can be documented. So, because like we said, we want a franchise because it's beautiful working in the restaurant, building a mom and pop, but we still do have bigger dreams than just running a day-to-day operation. We want to run a actual conglomerate, you know, and be in all states, be out in California.
I love that.
Somewhere, you know, we're going to be out at that store checking in on us, come check us out, you know. So the goal is always bigger than the current destination for us. So you do have to have a vision, but you definitely have to stay present in what you're doing. If we're not there presently on a daily basis, then things can kind of get out of hand sometimes. So
you gotta be.
Yeah, no, the biggest thing too is as the entrepreneur, you guys, being the only Black owned restaurant, I feel like we stick out like a sore thumb being in Cocoa Beach.
You do.
And I'm like, I feel like that's a different kind of obstacle by itself. It's like good because we stick out, but like, why in 2023 are we the only one in this area? You know, it's such a famous area too. So, yeah.
How do you navigate that? How do you, because I mean, there might be some, I guess, perceptions people might have or some biases they might have, but how do you still maintain your success despite that fact?
It's hard because I feel like we are already put on an unrealistic pedestal already. You know, as a Black owned business, we have to try harder. We have to do things better and bigger all the time. It's like a lot of pressure to have that in. And, you know, when you're successful, like from the gate, you have to kind of try to keep that high, you know? So it's always like, I feel like I'm always running, trying to have that, pursue that level of success, but it's not going to always be great. And like, I think that us, like, we're always transparent with that kind of stuff too, because people think that entrepreneurship is always like glitz and glamour. No, there's some times when, like last year, we had 2 hurricanes that hit us back to back. Never would I have thought that was going to happen, you know, and it taught us, you know, another level of preparedness that we weren't at. So, and then as a Black owned business, we have, you know, customers that are non-Black come in, look around and walk out. That happens all day long, you know, and it's something that we unfortunately had to just know that it's just a part of the business. So it's a lot being just us out there.
As the only Black business on the block.
That's what I was telling.
Yeah, it's all right. I wear it as a badge of honor though, because
most definitely, you guys
because
do
a
very
lot of
well.
people are gonna come, and again, we also, you know, we get those people. But yeah, we get a lot of support because they understand the you know, the brevity of what's going on, and being able to break into it's always something big when you're able to break into a sector that hasn't previously been able to be cracked, and shows, you know, many other people that, hey, if I want something on the beach, I can have something here. You know, I don't have to be scared. Yeah, I don't have to be scared to say, oh, well, they won't accept me here. No, you bring something that everybody wants, and it doesn't matter.
Mind you, this is my second location on A1A. Like, that's unheard of too.
You know, you mentioned something in the beginning, and you said that you walk a lot, like you do a lot of things just faith, like, you know, that like if it's meant for you, like you're gonna go. And I just want to touch on that because it's like a lot of the things that you're saying, the difficulties you face, there's a lot of people that aren't built to take that type of criticism. There's a lot of people that aren't built to be able to have the resilience to not speak on that type of disrespect, because you know, you can call a spade, it is what it is. But at the end of the day, I just have to once again commend you guys, because not only did you bring your family into something like this, but I mean, to be the only Black-owned restaurant in Cocoa Beach, Florida, and to stand on that and to have, you know, the presence you have, that really means something. You know what I'm saying? And I live in Florida. I'm very familiar with the area. So it's
Yeah.
I see it and I'm in awe because I'm
Yeah.
like, you're doing your thing. I
Right.
mean,
We became
I'm a light bright, but at the end of the day, I still get looked at weird when I go to Cocoa Beach. So I mean, I get the feeling, but you know, have to ask you guys, what is the most popular dish? What is the one thing that people come there and they're like, oh my God, like I really need to know.
Our most popular dish, I would say, is our Crackin Crab platter. That has like we've sold the amount of I've looked at the number. I'm gonna just say like we probably sold $80,000 last year just on the Crackin Crab platter by itself. And that's just one platter. And so
that's just one platter.
Yeah, the close, and that's on the that's on the steamed seafood side. I'd say our number one fried item is the giant fish.
And then the trio platter is
and then the trio is the second close. Yeah. Absolutely.
The trio has the lobster, snow crabs, and shrimp.
And then the two small sides, like the seafood mac, which you don't really get nowhere else.
Yeah.
And that's seafood rice.
What we do different is we call it like Florida style seafood because like a lot of the other places they're doing the bags. We specifically do not do the bags. We season our food our way. You know, we sell our own seasons. We have our own
products.
Yeah, so we have garlic, lemon, and herb seasoning. We have our crab and seafood seasoning. We have our hot sauce. We have our butter, and we have our pineapple lemonade and blue raspberry lemonade that we sell.
Nice. By the gallon, by the way.
So I'm gonna need to know what day I can come, and we can do an in-person interview with the food. Charles, I will send our good regards, but I think that would be so dope. Like,
we can Sunday. I got you.
Cute. I DM'd you. Like listen, we can do this.
Wednesdays,
okay.
Wednesdays and Thursdays are normally the slower days, especially like if you want to do an interview, we put out a nice spread for you, do a taste.
I'm so serious. I will bring a whole camera crew. Like we will definitely make that happen. Yeah. So that's number one. And number two, what do you guys feel has been the toughest thing to get over in being in the food industry side of business, especially with inflation, with everything? I know that sometimes seafood is hard to get in Florida. Like, how do you guys go? Like, how do you handle that?
Building multiple vendor relationships is the best way I can say that. Like, I remember when I had my first location, I had no idea that there was different vendors. I was going to Restaurant Depot, Sam, BJ's, all I knew. Until the power of my marketing, when we opened up the second location, the big vendors like, US Food, Cisco, they met me at our location, wanted to, see how we can help them. I'm not help them, but partner with them
to get the food. I mean, because over the time that we've been open, food costs has skyrocketed. We went from, I'll just say that we went from having somewhere around 35 to 40% margins down to about 5 to 10%. Because of food costs.
So that was the biggest thing I would say with the food inflation is, how we are as people. It's scary to like increase your prices, knowing that you're dealing with inflation, but sometimes it was an anxiety filled situation for me to like with the people pleasing, to we needed to raise our prices because, for instance, a case of crabs, oh my gosh,
they tripled. They triple. But
I can imagine.
Just on the price and just on the, standing on the quality of our food and what we produce on a daily basis and knowing what you get every. I still do have room to be able to, to get fair market value for what it is that we're offering.
And once we made the prices increases with them because of inflation, honestly, our customer base was like, fine. They were like, we know everybody else is doing it.
Everybody else is doing it.
Yeah.
So just because we're a Black-owned business doesn't mean we're cheap.
Right.
We don't provide a cheap product. So we're not going to, go down with those type of marketing
And
standards.
that is the other issue too, is I feel like because we're a Black owned restaurant, that people I actually been told like you're brave to sell the prices that you sell, and I'm like, why do you look at me being brave to sell prices the same food that other places are
Crab is
selling? It's
crab.
No, exactly. It's market price is
It's
what I
not black crab or white crabs.
exactly.
I mean,
but you know,
Mhm.
again, being held at a different standards.
Yeah.
But
that's
yeah,
a big
it's all
thing to
right,
still prevail over that.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I mean
So
everybody's gonna have an expectation of some type, and that's okay as long as we're producing the quality that we expect and producing the product that we expect. We know that in the long run, the majority of people are gonna be happy and satisfied with that and continue to come back.
I have to ask this question because there's other people who want to become entrepreneurs. They want to go into business for themselves, but they might be struggling with the funding.
Mhm.
What were you guys able to do to capitalize the restaurant when you were starting out?
No,
Well,
that was a funny situation.
yeah.
I said that we did have a little private investor that she was able to help us with some initial funding, but the rest was bootstrapping.
It's really bootstrapping.
Yeah.
I mean, what we started on, most people would not even attempt
Yeah.
to try to even get it going, because there's the stigma that, oh, it has to have this, it has to have that. As long as it's got the bones that you need to get started, we like I would say this, we like a more, in a restaurant situation, a more turnkey opportunity of starting out first, because you don't have the capital to be able to put everything in it that you want. But as long as it has what you need to actually make the products that you're making, start where you are, and then the capital will come. Because if your product is good, people are going to continue to come back.
I would
Which
say
allows you
that
to
the tips that I have now, hindsight,
Yeah, hindsight.
I would say creating that pitch deck and that business plan up front, going ahead and applying for your SunBiz information as soon as possible, dating it that date. That was a mistake that I made, that with the PPP,
We didn't get any of the PPP.
we weren't able to get any PPP because of we filed in February and we didn't sign a lease until March, and then we didn't open it. We got the keys April 1st. So I put the date as opening as April 1st, even though we didn't open until July. But because I didn't put February
when we filed as the actual business being open.
Yeah.
The doors were open, but the actual business, when it was filed and recorded, we missed it by basically 30 or so days.
Yeah, so that was something. Also, open up your business account right away, because so that you can start your history. People making sure your credit is right, so you can start that credit history using NAV and Duns and Bradstreet, so you can have that credit history.
So you can stop using your personal credit and actually start building business credit and being able to use that to to finance things.
Not being afraid to negotiate those vendor contracts with net 30 accounts, like that, because like I said, my first location, I didn't have that. So whatever I bought, I had to pay right in and there. Now we have those relationships and those contracts that we can say, hey, I'm not going to pay out my invoice until 7 to 14 days or 30 days, depending on the vendor. So yeah.
That's really, really good information. I love that. I love the fact that you guys said you bootstrapped it, because I think sometimes people overthink the beginning of the process. They want to kind of skip steps and get things done, but it's like you didn't even formulate the initial idea. You didn't even get it like down pat and get that idea A going before now you're thinking of DCEFG. It's like no. So I love that. So how do you guys deal with customer feedback and criticism? On a social scale, even in the restaurant. I mean, I know that, criticism with people these days, they get behind the computer and it's like they become a whole different person.
Oh yeah.
So how do you guys deal with that type of stuff?
I mean, I do a play by like a situational based thing. Like most of the times now, like in the past, I would just address each one and be like, go. But now I'm like, The good or the bad, thank you for your feedback. Thank you for your business. And I keep it moving. I don't even take it seriously anymore because like everyone is going to have an opinion and we just can't stop and focus on those things.
We can't please anybody. I used to tell all the time in the beginning, it's a saying called some will, some won't, so what?
Yeah.
And I used to tell all the time, I say Bank of America don't care about reviews. We do care about reviews, but to the extent of reading the review and picking out the actual constructive criticism in it, not the opinions of people of how we should cook our food that's recipe'd and plated the way that we want it to look. If you're not liking something because it's not how you normally eat it, that's not a complaint. If you say
we do take constructive criticism,
absolutely,
but when you start taking stuff and like, oh, I don't like the decor of this, or I don't like, oh, you should try this way, like we can't please everybody.
And if there's truly something wrong, what we normally love is that we're normally there. So come up and tell us right away.
Yeah.
Allow us an opportunity to be able to remedy the situation because that's never what we want.
Yeah.
We address those people and we try to find remedies for people that we know that may have had a bad experience for whatever reason. We take those things very seriously.
Yeah.
But there are some people that kind of troll sometimes. So.
Yeah, you gotta cipher between the trolls. Again, we do also hire like a lot of younger kids, I would say between 16 to 21, giving them their first jobs. And so we try to kind of take it with a grain of salt. Like not everybody, if we can be at least 85 to 90% good, like the other 10%, we just have to either try to learn from it or fix it on the spot and just move on.
I love that. That's really, really dope. Go ahead, Charles.
What is like an unexpected lesson that you guys learned throughout this whole process of starting the business during the pandemic and then having so much success presently?
For me, I think there's a line in a song that says, more important is lawyer fees. So having the, when you're scaling and growing, having the proper team in place.
Exactly. An attorney, an accountant, and an attorney.
Making sure that your back end is tied up. Your books are good, your contracts are right, and have language that puts things in your favor. Not to be unequal, but to be fair to both sides of the contract.
Even now, we also just added to our team like a commercial broker that has that knowledge and like with commercial leases, so that now when we want to look at those other locations, we're not going into the same estates, because a lawyer can know a lot, but also it's good to have somebody on the team that knows the commercial part,
they're gonna know the buildings, they're gonna know the landlords, they're gonna know the scope of the land, they're gonna get information that because people are trying to either have them broker the building for them or sell it to them, so they gotta divulge information to that commercial realtor, as opposed to the lawyer just being able to look over a contract and say, I don't, we'll strike this out.
I think the other thing that
insight as to where to go and how the business is actually going to do it, in that setting.
Yeah, and I think the other thing that's the biggest lesson in entrepreneurship is not being so eager and happy for opportunities. Even when you get a great opportunity, to just take a time to let that settle in and still do your homework, still get a lawyer to look over it, still have you don't have to just be like, so yes, okay, I'm happy and just jump on it. Because the times when you're impulsive like that is when you make those big mistakes on it, unfortunately.
If you're not the person that focuses on the logistics of thinking, make sure you have somebody close to you that does.
Yeah.
Because every opportunity can sound good when somebody's pitching.
Yeah.
I tell all the time, I sold people, with my insurance, I would be able to sell people their insurance policy, which I knew was going to help them, with a slam dunk, but I would sell them people that are scared, but by the time I'm done talking to them, they just, it's the best thing in the world.
Yeah.
Thank goodness it was. I'm not one of the people who tries to sell you something that's not, but there are a lot of people that are.
Yeah.
So you got to go back and say, okay, it does sound good, but let's really look. How many people is it going to take? How long is it going to take to get started? What's the revenue is actually going to
And then you
be
have to
able to truly
understand
generate?
that because you're successful, don't think that other people aren't.
They aren't looking and praying
and
on
watching that. So
You
there's
know.
people that take advantage of that situation. I mean, like,
You know,
it comes
they
at
try,
all
they try to
corners.
piggyback on it.
Yeah.
You know, so everybody
So-
wants to do something. You know, everybody wants to do something now when when they see you have the train moving.
Yep.
Some people try
You
to.
guys asked about the funding part. How many people you thought was asking us how can they help with the funding? Nobody. But once they saw how successful we
Oh
were,
yeah. Oh, let's do this.
yeah,
this and
yeah,
that.
I got this. I
Okay.
got that. I'm like, nah.
Too late.
I
You know,
Right.
and that's where going back to, to believing in what you offer and,
Mhm.
that again, that almost that blind faith that it will work out if you keep going.
Absolutely.
Our family model now is something I used to say to her all the time, and is what we look for out of one another, out of everything that we do, which is every ounce of greatness.
Yeah.
If we are not putting in what we need to get out every ounce of greatness, we can't be mad at the results that we get.
Great.
Because
Every ounce of greatness.
every ounce of greatness that's our model. That's what we look at. That's why I hold her accountable and she holds me accountable. Because we have a bigger goal in mind.
Yeah.
Excuses don't get goals.
So I have two questions that I'm going to put into one question, and then I'm going to be done. And if Michelle has anything else, then she can ask those questions, and then we're going to head into the wrap. And so
Okay.
this is the question. Oh man, I can't even really. It really is two questions. My
Okay.
first question is, what's the benefit of having somebody that's solely focused on marketing in your business, as opposed to having somebody who's just like the CEO and they're still in the kitchen, they aren't able to really get out there and market the business? Because I feel like having somebody whose job to market your business allows you to have a huge advantage. And the other question is, a lot of times when like entrepreneurs get together, they'll think, oh, I'm going to just start this business and you start that business, but you guys came together and you work the same business. So what was the motivation behind that? And two questions, they're not even related, so hopefully you guys can follow.
I say.
Well, I'll say this. When focusing on your strengths really means something, it's not that the marketing person can't be CEO and still be in the kitchen, but when you're disseminating your energies in those type of realms, when you don't have to be in the kitchen, when you put all that into marketing so that okay, hey, what do we look like this week? Oh, great ideas can flow more when you don't have your thoughts scattered.
Yeah.
So like with my wife again, you run all of that, but marketing and the ideas that I get sent to my phone and I'm just like, yep, all right, no, let's do this, boom, yep. And because it allows it to flow, because it's it gives it she can bounce the ideas off of me. It's not, oh, these are my ideas, these are your ideas. I don't care about the marketing. You gotta at some point in time, but I know, and the reason I don't care about the marketing is because I trust her 100% to take care of that.
Listen, I think with the marketing, for instance, when I had the first location before I met him, it was a lot of work to cook, market, and all that stuff. So the fact that we have each other now, and I don't have to worry about the cooking, and I can focus on the marketing, I'm able to dive in, target those different target audience. We have Disney World, Universal, we have all those different places that I can market. We have the #1 port right here, so I can market it. I can do community engagement by like going out in the area, the hotels, and if I was in the kitchen still, I wouldn't be able to do that kind of stuff.
And so it does lead to your second question, right? Because the thing it ties in because it's the same concept. Doing two things. If I got one business that I'm running and she has one business that she's running,
we'll never see each other.
Well, yeah, but now I'm doing my marketing, I'm doing my CEO, I'm doing my front facing, I'm doing everything, and she's doing that on that side. So we won't see each other. One, and then we won't have time to actually expand the ideas of what we can do within that particular business, because I'm always going to be focused here. And if she tries to talk to me about hers, I don't really want to hear that because I'm focused on mine. And it's the same thing. And for me, I can say this, for me within this, again, I've done a lot in my life. I'm 41 now. So, I was on Wall Street early. I was doing all of that other stuff. And right now I just like working out and cooking. So for me, I'm like, babe, don't worry about that. This is what you want. This is, you want to go out there. You go out there. I'll push out in the front, and I'll make sure that everything on the back end logistically is taken care of.
I mean, I
and
think that
it works better.
Organically, we saw that
Yeah.
it worked best. Like when he was working and I was at home doing, cooking. Because after I left the first location, we did catering from Orlando and did some catering day parties and stuff like that. So
Yeah.
my focus was always building the brand and marketing.
Which made it easier, Charles, because I was working a full-time job, and then I would come home and still be helping her.
And I'm like, I booked all these catering jobs. So we need to go ahead and do this.
And I told her, I said, but with me, how I've always worked and how I've always seen it is, you can work a full-time job, but once your hustle actually starts to meet the income of your full-time job, why are you still there?
Yeah.
So I see the potential in that. So I told her, book as many events as you can. And if we start making money, I'm gone.
Yeah. He was like, okay.
You know what I'm saying? Because it's a thing. When she was at the house and we were doing the events, I was cooking at the house for her, so she could be on the phone setting up, talking about, all right, where are we gonna be next week? Where are we gonna be? I gotta set up this.
Listen,
I gotta put
I'm
out
gonna
that.
tell you guys the thing about me. When I was cooking at my house, I had online ordering system set up. I did not play. Like I always, like in my head, knew that like I could.
I was Uber Eats. I was Doordash.
Yeah, and
and because we was doing what we were doing, she'd hop in the truck with me, and we'd be like, all right, where we going now? Are we dropping off?
So you guys were delivering with your own kind of DoorDash setup. They sent you an email or a text or a phone call. You delivered.
Y'all are in. Can I just say this? He left his job.
Yeah.
Her build her dream. We don't see much of that. Like we really don't.
Somebody that take their ego and put it aside and say, hey, babe, I'm going to go ahead and support you in this manner. And it was big because I'm telling you, there's a lot of selfish people that are not even just selfish, people that have a different type of mindset that won't allow them to even go and do that.
And one of the reasons is because a lot of people have unrealized goals and aspirations that they've done, right? Like I said before, when I was down in Fort Lauderdale, I was a very integral part of building 2 of the #1 insurance agencies in the entire nation twice. One got taken away by the original owner, and we went and we did it again within another 3 months and became the #1 agency. I don't have anything to prove. I've done what I tell people, like I was the assistant vice president at PNC Bank at 26 years old. I don't have anything to prove. If I wanted to and still wanted to be in that realm, then I would still be doing that. I'm about quality of life. I got my kids running around here. My girls love me. They want to see me. Exactly.
Yeah.
I ain't wore a tie, and well, she made me wear a tie before our wedding, but I don't wear ties. And I told her I used to have go 30 days without having change a suit, but it doesn't interest me anymore. What interests me is, like I said, the quality of life, being able to have something that I know that we can grow and that our kids can be able to see and have an example of not working for somebody but working for something. Towards yourself, that builds you up, that allows you the opportunity to help other people, to grow yourself, to expand yourself as a person. And again, I told them we're gonna be doing this for long. They better take over because we want to travel.
Listen, I mean, from the product line to the franchise, so what you guys are doing, I'm almost sure that you will be able to live your even better life because you guys are living the best life right now. I mean, I'm in awe. I love you guys. I think your energy, your dynamic, the way that you guys flow together, it's so beautiful to see. And it's to show other people, like, regardless of what industry you're in, you can work with your partner. You can really build together, and
it's actually better too. In my opinion.
Further, I mean, you really you can see the genuine support. Like you can see it, you can feel it, and I just think that that's so beautiful. Like
I've been saying that for so long that it's better to work with your partner than to work with a stranger.
Left in November and decided no longer work for us. She wanted to kind of have a little freedom and see how it is to work other places. 3 weeks ago, I get a call. Mom, I want to talk to you. She's 19. I want to come back as a manager, but these are my conditions. I said, what happened? They let you go. She's like, yeah.
So you don't have any conditions, darling. Here's what we're gonna do.
So I offered the same thing that I offered before, but like even now she sees like, you know, it's different like out there. Like my parents are really giving it to us as good as possible, and like it's not hard.
Yeah. We tell her, I mean, nobody's gonna care about you like we do.
Yeah.
We're not being hard on you. We're teaching you literally how to be able to run, if not this business, something for yourself.
Exactly.
You know, it doesn't have to be our business.
And the same thing for us. Like we could go and work for someone else, but why not put that same energy and focus on our own business, have that freedom that we want, you know?
I've made millions of dollars for way too many other people.
Yeah.
Selling their stuff.
I felt that.
So it's not.
Yeah.
It's not of interest to me, you know, unless we're doing it for us.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome.
Well,
Great
you guys are
conversation.
amazing. Yeah. So Charles, you want to wrap it up for us?
I want to ask them a few one-line question and answers. My first is, this is a new question, but you guys have been talking about business and work, but what do you do for fun?
For fun, we like to travel. We love to go out to dinner. We're real big foodies. I know when people see us in a restaurant, they're like, why are you doing it here? But we like to eat as much as we like to cook.
And me, I'm simple. I work out.
He's a gym rat. I like to shop. I know that sounds cliche, but
he's like, I like to spend the money we made.
And our kids. Yeah.
No, that's awesome.
What's your favorite business or investment book?
So, well, I'll say this. There's for people in real estate, there's a book called People's Principles.
Yeah, that's one of my favorite ones.
I would say that one. And right now I'm reading What Would the Rockefellers Do? Which is basically how they set up their family trust. And being able to pass it down, not with the Vanderbilts. Don't follow the Vanderbilts, follow the Rockefellers. And then I would say an old favorite is, you know, As a Man Thinketh. That book transcends pretty much, you know, any type of industry that you're in, and just mindset, because mindset is one of the biggest things that keeps people from achieving any of their goals. It's not their talent, it's not their aspiration to do it, but it's just the being able to either cultivate the mind to a stronger level, or with most people, they have to relearn things the right way because they've been taught things such the wrong way for so long that they actually believe it. You know, so it's hard to understand and believe new concepts, and once you can get that, you know, then you can kind of dive into what success waits for you, because you know, the strongest thing we have is our power of thought. So
awesome. Great conversation. Where can people find you? Where can they follow you? Where can they support you have going on?
They can follow us on Facebook on Q's Crackin Crab, on Instagram and TikTok on We Love Q's. And
follow me. I'm Abraham with the Chef, DACHEF on Instagram.
And then our location is at 5240 North Atlantic Avenue, 100 in Cocoa Beach. We're close to the pier, so you know where the Cocoa Beach Pier is. It's pretty famous. We're right on
right off the beach line. Like, you can literally take the beach line from Orlando and never have to make the turn. You just come in and make the left into our parking lot.
And that's where I will be, like, going straight in there, not making no turns.
Man.
Media and our website, qscrackincrab.com. So that's pretty much everywhere.
Great. Amazing conversation from top to bottom. You guys have a really good energy. So it's amazing to hear your story. Shout out to you guys. Make sure you guys check them out. Follow them on Instagram, follow them on social media, and go get some crab. Go get the crab plate and tell them the Todd Billy sent you, and tell them the Michelle sent you.
All right.
And tell them that Michelle will be there. Hey, listen, Michelle will be there. Like, we're making this live interview in person.
We lock it in. We're going to put it all on there. They're going to know.
Right.
You guys are amazing. Once again, I commend you. I mean, I'm inspired to go find my husband and open up something with him. But you guys are amazing. Your energy is unmatched. I followed you guys on social media and I cannot wait to connect more and see how you guys continue to grow. Because not for nothing, because we didn't even highlight this. Not only are they voted the Space Coast Living Best New Restaurant, but they had Startup Business of the Year and 2022 Entrepreneur of the Year award. Okay, period.
Yeah.
Florida Black Chamber Day with the Space Coast Black Chamber. We just won a $15,000 grant with Spectrum, so we're gonna have a free TV advertisement for the next 3 months.
That's dope. That's awesome.
Part 2 interview is coming soon.
It's all possible. You too can find you a husband and build a business, ladies. All right, it's another episode of the Millionaire Podcast, and we are out.
Peace.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.